Yo, what's going on, guys? Dr. Schwaz here. Welcome back to another Gears 5 video. Today I'm going to be doing a skill card tier list ranking for the promotional classes in Horde for Gears 5. This is going to be a pretty short video. I will have the timestamps where I will show the starting rankings for each class. So we got Architect, Protector, Slugger, and Striker. They don't have a lot of skill cards, so there's not going to be a lot of discussion here because there really isn't much movement to rank really anything. So let's get started here with the Architect. I think Deception is above average. It gives you extra damage when flanking, and once you have the ultimate ready, most enemies does pretty good job aiming at the hologram decoy. Probably works better than a regular one. 3 times damage when flanking is pretty nice. You have a boss that's not looking like a Matriarch or a Snatcher, you could do pretty good damage once it's not looking at you, so it's pretty nice. Flow, even as an Architect that's an Engineer, 32% resistance while repairing is just way too low for it to mean much of anything, so I wouldn't recommend it under any scenario really. If you are low level and that's the only card you have, then you can run it, but normal Architect build in Horde I wouldn't recommend it at all. Hologram extend I think is above average. Ballistic hits extend the hologram by 100%, so as long as you are shooting at an enemy with a pistol or an assault rifle or anything ballistic, you can keep the ultimate going for as long as you can until you run out of ammo. Hologram lifetime I think is excellent. Longer hologram duration makes it 170% longer, so we're almost talking 3 times longer. Keeps large enemies at bay on boss waves, things like that, very useful to run. Makes the ultimate last like 20 seconds, and then if you run this with hologram extend, you can continue to extend it even longer if you'd like. Another cool thing about these hologram cards is that I believe your sentries or your fortification damage also adds on to the extended lifetime, which is cool. So that's useful as well. Regenerative field is average. I mean, stim is nice. You're always gonna like stim. Gives you health gate, prevents you from getting one shot down. It's just that it takes time to regenerate, and it's not a ton of stim anyway. I don't know what the max stim is, but it's not a lot. It's not Kate stim, or I mean infiltrator stim, or veteran stim. So it's okay. It's just a small amount. So that's why I put it there. Repair efficiency, if you're an engineer as an architect, that's basic repair efficiency card, same as ingenuity for the mechanic. You're always going to want that. So root kit, I'd say it's below average. I mean, it's probably one of the cards you're going to run anyway, just because you need a 5th card to run. Gets your ultimate but going back faster, so if you have every second to repair, repairs the cooldown, reduces cooldown by 2.25 seconds. So if you're running the hologram cards and this, you can get the hologram back even faster. So stim capacity, below average too. Increases stim by 110%, but like you have to be, I mean, if you run the other stim, you need to run regenerative field for this to be useful, but the amount of time that you have to not take any damage is too long, I think, for this to be worth running. On maps where this triple lethal, like even stronger enemies or something like that, might run it. But as an architect with the limited cards you have, top of the line I'd probably put as average. This is just overload, but renamed. So fortifications of 50% health do 60% more damage. Yeah, like I said, it's good. A solid card, extra sentry damage, extra barrier damage. Good for the engineer's DPS. As an architect is one of the weaker engineers, simply because you don't overclock or you don't have cards like that to enhance the setup. But I think the ultimate is very useful, so that kind of makes up for it. But this is the skill card tier list ranking for the architect. Let's move on to the next class, which will be Protector. Alrighty guys, this is the skill card tier list ranking for the Protector. Now there's only 6 skill cards. You take out the score boost and epic score boost, there is really a lot of room to rank this stuff. So the way I'm doing these final 3 classes is I'm just going to do what my starting loadout would be, and then I'll just rank out, and then at the bottom here it's a card that I'd swap it out for depending on what map or mutator set would fit the build better. So my starting loadout is Big Knife, Bloody Blade, Close Range Recharge, Drop Shield Duration, and Regenerative Field. The Nasher card is the one I'd swap out. It brings a secondary meta to the Protector, so the Protector is a melee class, like the Blade Master, right? But the thing with the Protector is that you don't have to perk to get the bleed damage. You already get it from Bloody Blade, and then Big Knife enhances that bleed. Close range recharge recharges your ultimate. Kills within 5 meters recharge your ultimate duration. Drop shield duration increases the ultimate duration, so bubbles out there for longer than regenerative field just gives you base stem. As long as you're not taking damage. I think you have to not take damage for like 4 seconds or something, and you'll get some stem regen. And then I'll swap out Nasher M45 mod for maybe close range recharge or drop shield duration, depending on the map or whatever. That's really the tier list for for the Protector. There's 6 cards. There's not really a lot to rank there. Let's move on to the next class. That will be the Slugger. Alright guys, this is the skill card tier list ranking for the Slugger. Again, this class only has 8 cards. Take out the score boost cards, you only have 6. So the way, instead of doing like a S through S, A, B, C, D, or excellent, above average ranking, there's not enough cards of that, so I'm just going to do what my starting loadout would be, and then I'm going to do what cards I'd swap it out for. So they changed the Slugger in Operation 7 from a heavy weapons class, like a weaker version of the Gunner, to like a Gears 4 grenade soldier class. So grenade capacity, something you'll need, increases your grenade capacity by 6 from 2 to 8. Grenade proficiency increases your grenade damage and explosive radius. Impact receiver is the card that I would normally swap out. This card increases your active shotgun hits within 10 meter stun drones for 3 seconds. I mean, good on certain situations to keep enemies back, but it could work. It works okay with the ultimate, I guess, which involves also stunning enemies from ballistic bullets. Lethal preparations is plant 6 extra grenade traps, so you can plant 2, so now you can plant 8. So these 3 grenade cards you want to pair with the perk, which resupply, grenade resupply, and things like that. So only one thing I had to mention is that once you run out of grenades, you're going to have to buy more from the fab, so just keep doing that. And it typically does not resupply from 0 grenades, so make sure that you at least have 1 left once you go buy some. Which is very weird, but that is what it is. Power Shot, slightly different card from the grenade meta, so ballistic rounds penetrate through targets and deal 60% extra damage, so solid DPS card. And then this Tough Skin, ballistic damage resistance within 15 meters. Again, I don't love the low damage resistance cards. They're not that useful, but again, what are you going to run? This card I'd swap out with Impact Receiver depending on how I feel on the map or the mutator. But I think Tough Skin would be a lot more useful if you could tank more explosive damage resistance, because a lot of times your grenades are so powerful that you end up downing yourself. As long as you don't throw it within 10 meters of yourself, you're probably fine. But that's my skill card tier list ranking for the Slugger. So starting 5, and then the loadout is that, and then swapping the gold card out for Tough Skin. It's typically what I would do, but that's really all you can do for this class. Alrighty guys, this is the final class. This is the skill card ranking of the Striker. Again, the promotional classes other than the Architect, I'm just going to do my starting loadout and then the card that I'd swap it out for, really. Because it doesn't really make sense to put 6 cards into 4 or 5 categories. So let's get started here. Blunt Instrument is something I would always run. First Strike, GSD, Melee Armor, and Stim Siphon. And then the card that I swap out is Melee Rush. So, Blunt Instrument, Breaker Mace deals 130% bleeding damage. Basic bleed card that you have, so that's, as long as you get a Breaker Mace, you are ready to go. So Horde spawn in waves 8 and 9, regular Horde. And in Frenzy, they can spawn on boss waves, and other ways too. or you can get one from the fabricator. It's fine, but you're always pretty much guaranteed a warden on wave 8 or 9 of your 1 through 50 games, so you can get one there and go to town. First strike is melee 100% damage to undamaged enemies, so this also doesn't... The good thing about this card is, yes, it works on melee damage, but it also works on like ballistic damage and other kinds. So very useful. Their GSD is explosive damage once you melee kill an enemy, so very useful on bosses and large enemies. Melee armor, resist 50% melee damage. That's a great card to run as a striker. You don't have a ton of damage resistance, so having a little bit is nice. The perks and the passive will help along that too. Stim Siphon. Melee hits grant stim. I don't think they heal you, but I believe you have to have full health for this to work. But still a great card. Melee Rush is the only card I swap out. I usually swap that out for like melee armor or something. Melee kills reduce cooldown by ultimate by 35 seconds. I feel like you get the ultimate in a decent amount of time, so you really don't need a card that reduces it. But yeah, that's the ranking for the striker. Pretty much what my starting loadout is, and then the 6th card is the one you swap out for one of the other 4 or 5. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This will conclude the skill card tier list rankings for all the promotional classes. I really appreciate the support for the channel. Trying to keep the Gears 5 content flowing. So this will summarize all of the skill card tier list rankings for all 19 classes in Horde. Next 4 videos I'll make will be the same, but for escapes, so be on the lookout for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. Peace.